a teenager with Asperger's, who was attacked for being different, has taught the bullies a powerful lesson about seeing life through someone else's eyes. Gavin Joseph, from New Baden, Illinois, was beaten up by a gang of strangers after they heard some people talking about how he was weird and always by himself. Gavin was tricked into meeting the group, who then surrounded him. He was choked, punched, and left laying on the pavement so he would learn his lesson, explained Mom Courtney Stone on Facebook, in a post from family friend Susan Moffat that's now been shared almost 130,000 times. On Thursday night, some kids were talking about how it's weird that he is always by himself, attending events alone and watching people, and it was creepy how he wanted to be friends with people he didn't know, Courtney writes of her son's ordeal. On Friday night, another kid that overheard that conversation decided to take matters into his own hands and become judge and jury, and this is the result of that, she says. Gavin was left with mild concussion, a bruised esophagus, a fracture to the tip of his nose, and hematoma in his eye. However, when his attackers were identified, rather than press charges, he chose to teach the bullies a lesson of his own, a lesson about what it's like to walk in another person's shoes. Courtney explains, he did not press charges, but requested their community service be disability-related, that they write a paper on Asperger's, and that they watch a 20-minute video statement he taped while their families were present so they could see the damage they did and hear the event from his perspective. She adds, I am so proud of him, and I hope a lesson will come of this to all that hear about it. Courtney describes how her son was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and ADHD at the age of 3. Gavin has spent years learning what society thinks is appropriate and not appropriate, and so he doesn't offend anyone or stick out in social situations, she explains. She continues, being a teenager with Asperger's is tough because all of a sudden people around you are consistently breaking all the social do's and don'ts you've spent years learning. So, she asks, if you are reading this, I hope you talk to your teens, tell them about disabilities you can see, teach them to be tolerant of people that are different, teach them that if they continuously see someone alone that maybe it is not their choice to be alone, remind them to ask questions first and get to know one another. Gavin's story, and his decision to teach, rather than punish, the bullies has been praised online.